AC, I don't think anybody here wants to do it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the
Go
stream.
underwater halfway through that. It just sounded like no one wants to.
Did I?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the
Entirely.
stream. Today is the beginning of episode 7, and unfortunately, somebody is currently missing. We're hoping that they will appear shortly, but that is entirely up to them and how awake they are within the next several minutes.
Today is the beginning where I am finally unstressed for the first time in like a year.
It's good to hear,
It's good
buddy.
to hear.
But yes, apologies for the. Oh, that's right. Apologies for the unimpromptu absence on Friday. It's just that there was a lot of shit that happened last Friday. So we just kind of decided to not do it. But that's okay. We're gonna get into it. Everything's gonna be dangerous. So, that's right. We have a sponsor today. B, who is our sponsor?
Sponsor? Sir, we're going to a fucking funeral today. Relax.
That's right. Shit, my bad. We'll have to worry about the sponsor some other time.
Wait, what?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry
Yes, you'll
about it.
find out.
Also, everything you said, everything's gonna be Daijobu, right? Does it sound like you were like opening up pills?
Oh, that's because I have a small tray, not even a tray, but like I have a small cup of dice next to me, and I'm just kind of like moving around in my hand.
And he's just slowly eating them over
Those
the
are the
course.
Daijobu pills. Those are the pills that makes him feel Daijobu.
Now then.
Everybody wondering why I keep getting 20s. Me just eating the dice.
Now then, let's begin. Let me just make sure that the game is visible for everyone.
Yeah.
There we go. Alrighty then. Well, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get right into it. Episode 7. Requiem, the Golden Witch. Let me just make sure that things are a little bit quieter for people, because this shit's loud as fuck right now.
Stop shaking your dice.
Sorry, it's coming a nervous habit. Let me get this shit out of here. There we go.
And this man who shames Roboot for flipping his knife, now flipping his dice.
Silence. Anyways. Good morning! Today is the day of the funeral for the Golden Witch and her game. The days of the game have now ended, and fond memories are all that remain. Here, the cold, hard truth will be revealed, and the game will meet its death. There is a bit of difficulty.
Let's fucking go.
Only a bit.
Only a smack. Only a smidge. This story is undoubtedly nothing more than fantasy. It cannot possibly have any relation to real persons, organizations, places, or events.
Gee.
I think this opportunity to remind players owning the PS3 and PC editions of Umineko is a requirement for playing this game. Hope that you enjoy a fresh new experience of the continuation of the story and wish you a pleasant voyage across the sea.
Virgilia.
I believe this is very...
Earth to earth. Ashes to ashes. Dust to dust. Illusions to illusions. And dreams to dreams. A dream is something drawn in the sand between the coming and receding waves. Something so fragile that it's wiped blank every time a wave comes in. So the heartless might sneer, saying that drawing such things is useless and meaningless. However, no wave will ever come again to wipe away the dream she drew. And now, that final beautiful dream of hers will not disappear for all eternity. Come, try and picture it. It's as though the rays of the gentle afternoon sun on a warm spring day simply forgot to grow dim ever again. It truly is such a wonderful thing. Witness to your final dream. Publius Virgilia Maro.
The suspects were gathered in a room, and several inquisitors of heresy were reporting on the results of their investigation. Their uniforms closely resembled those of Ezer and Jungfrau, but they were slightly different. Also different were the badges signifying their department. Then came the sound of someone clapping their hands once. It was the lead female inquisitor. She was announcing that all reasoning had been completed.
As it has been shown, it is all quite clear. Know that the preceding logic has proven the non-existence of your alibi.
At the end of her pointing finger was a quivering maid with frightened eyes. Her name was... No, that's not important. What matters now is that she could have entered into the closed room study, where the victim was found whenever she pleased. And furthermore, that her claimed alibi for the time of the crime had been proven to contradict the facts. Shaking, the maid tried to continue in her illogical pleading, but all of her statements had already been seen through.
With this, we have concluded our proof of the whodunit and the howdunit. Know that your position as the culprit is now an unshakable fact.
Oh?
I need a maid on set.
Yeah, go ahead, Con.
You must be joking. Why would you think I killed the master I loved and respected so? I have no motive, no reason.
Who did it and how? Know that establishing these is more than sufficient. Please allow me to speak. Know that the motives are unnecessary mysteries.
The Inquisitor spoke coldly. After finishing her witch's prayer, Virgilia stepped back from the coffin, which lay on an altar bedecked with many beautiful roses. In her place, Ballard moved to the front of the coffin, wearing his territory lord's cape. The cape was supposed to represent dignity and majesty. It somehow made Ballard look smaller. Ballard held a book with a majestic binding in his hand. It was a game record that had just been written. Or perhaps it was a tale, a game, or else a fragment. Written in it was the dream that would be more enjoyable for her than any other. Ballard pressed it against his forehead and contemplated for some time. Then he kissed it and laid it gently in the coffin. It rested upon her chest. She looked like a little girl clutching her favorite stuffed animal as she drifted off to sleep. This is the sole tale I have to offer up to you. This tale will be shut up with you in your coffin for all eternity. So, no one will be able to read except for you. There, in your coffin.
Shut away in that cat box, the only unchanging, inviolable, eternal tale.
This way, no one will be able to defile it. No one can deny it, and no one can argue against it. This is just between me and her, just the two of us. Our one and only certain truth. Oh.
Those bastards.
A man dashed through a town wrapped in twilight. The daytime hustle and bustle of this beautiful village, which combined the traditional with the orderly in a classic style of the last century, and that seemed like a mere dream. The orange setting sun was already hidden behind the clock tower, and the narrow alleyway was rapidly descending into darkness. As the gas lights began to turn on, they only made the darkness of the twilight stand out all the more. The man sprinted. There was no time. He had to hurry. He had several experiments to do, and things he had to check, and it had taken longer than he expected.
Yes, there's no mistake here. The whodunit and howdunit are more than enough in the mystery genre.
In the mystery genre, the motive, or the whydunit, is given the lowest priority. To have a murder, you need to have a culprit, and he needs to commit a crime. The motive isn't required for that. So it's usually the most ignored element. In fact, these days, there are even some who call it unnecessary.
If you find the culprit with nothing but a why done it, that's no mystery. That's propaganda. However, just because of that fact, it doesn't mean you can neglect the motive, the heart.
We both know how much fun she'll be having in her final sleep, so I doubt anyone could disturb it. After all, who could possibly disturb a sleeping child, smiling at a happy dream? Come. It is time for us to leave. If we're too noisy, we'll wake her from her dream.
You're right. Well, she do with the sleeping kid. So put a blanket on them, turn off the lights, and walk away quietly. After looking at the coffin one last time, Virgilia turned around quietly. Balor did the same, but then he stopped and turned to face the rose-covered altar. Balor offered up his final words within his heart. As long as those words didn't leave his mouth, no one would be able to know what they were. However, those words of the heart caused Balor's expression to change several times. At first he frowned sadly, then his face clouded with remorse, and then changed to a bitter, exasperated smile. It flashed through several varied expressions. Then, the final expression that crossed his face was, surprisingly, a gentle smile. Something rose to Balor's lips. However, he bit it back down. There could certainly be no words to describe the many feelings he kept in his chest. So saying anything aloud would probably be crude. Balor understood this and stopped himself from speaking once more with a wry smile. Thank you.
Oh, I have done nothing to deserve your gratitude.
I'll leave the rest to you. After seeing Virgilia nod back at him, Balor turned away from the altar one more time, and left the chapel. Virgilia also disappeared, and with that, all disturbances that might have interrupted her blissful sleep had vanished. The Inquisitors of Heresy listened with calm, no, scornful gazes. They listened to the frantic babbling of the maid accused of murdering her master. However, nothing she said could bury the fault in her own alibi. They were all mere emotional arguments. Come.
I loved and respected the Master so much. I had no motive for killing him.
No matter how much she spoke, it only made her look more and more like the floundering true culprit struggling pathetically. The requirements for the who-done-it and how-done-it had been satisfied. As for the why-done-it, the motive, the heart, no matter how much she spoke of gratitude for her master, who had graciously given her a job when she'd been left by the wayside after various misfortunes, it didn't help her case in the slightest in the mystery genre. Therefore, her motive didn't matter. All of that could just be squeezed out of the culprit afterwards. An Inquisitor of Heresy took out a roll of parchment and held it forth, cutting off the maid's sobs and protests.
This is how you committed the crime. Know that this indictment has been received by the Great Court and that your arrest has been approved. Here is the warrant for your arrest. Motive is unnecessary. Know that such a thing is completely extraneous in the matter of pinpointing the culprit. Please allow me to speak. Know that we of the SSVD possess methods of forcing unrepentant criminals to reveal the truth. With these interrogation tools, blessed by the powers of justice, we Inquisitors of Heresy We'll strap you up by your limbs, burn you, crush you, stretch you, and hang you. And in doing so, wring the red truth out of you. It isn't even necessary for you to confess. Aides, arrest that maid.
It wasn't me. I didn't kill the master. No! No!
Hold it right there. You've got the wrong culprit.
Whom's the fuck?
The man kicked the door open, and the Inquisitors were all shocked at the sight of him.
Why are you here? Know that this case is no longer your responsibility.
Quiet. You find one person without an alibi and just assume that she's the culprit? Do you really think there's no need for a motive for heart and crime? Crimes are committed by people. There are no crimes without heart. I'll never accept a theory that neglects the heart.
Know that your obsession over the white dunnet is simply embarrassing. The white dunnet is unnecessary. Such a thing can be extracted easily through interrogation. Even the Great Court has already acknowledged that this woman is the culprit.
True. The Great Court does assume that everyone besides the maid has an alibi. But that's just because they've heard you say so, and they've mistaken your overconfidence and conceit for wisdom. If any one of the other suspects loses their alibi, your evidence so far proves nothing. Just look at how pathetic some of these alibis are. Did the clock in the reception hall chime midnight at exactly the right time? Did the dog by the back door bark at everyone? So you managed to prove the maid's alibi is false. Congratulations. But does it end there? It may have been possible for her to do it, but does she have any motive at all? Are the alibis for the others absolutely perfect? This maid was the only one with a false alibi. You have to keep on searching if you want to find the others. Was there some sort of grudge against the victim? Or some money-related problem? Don't abandon the motive. Don't abandon the heart. Try mysteries where the motive can just be figured out later aren't worth anyone's time.
Maid isn't the culprit, then why did she fake an alibi? Even asking such a question is a waste of time. Know that we just have to interrogate her, wring out the red truth, and have her sign in a blood red to everything that happened at the time of the crime.
Yeah, you can probably do that. You can just use some of that torture of yours to squeeze out everything, frankly and objectively, as seen from the eyes of God. You know what? I'll never accept mysteries and theories that lack heart.
I've already taken over responsibility for this case. I even have a decree right here. Come now, aides. Know that there's no reason to hesitate. I order you to arrest this maid.
When she gave the order, her subordinates hesitated, looking back and forth between the superior and that man.
I won't let you. The real culprit's a different person. It's possible to use the motive to find them. And their alibi trick is an old one. You can't neglect the heart.
There's no reason for that. We just have to find the suspicious ones who could have committed the crime, interrogate them, and squeeze out the red truth. On the off chance that they aren't the culprit, then we just have to interrogate the next suspect.
You call that reasoning?
Stand back! We will arrest that woman. Know that this maid is the culprit.
It is forbidden for a servant to be the culprit.
What did you say?
The words of power blasted away the aides trying to arrest the maid.
Van Dyne's 20 rules. Rule 11. If you want to torture this maid, make sure you double check the alibis for the second wife and her first lover. I love her first.
Those two already have clear alibis Those two already have a clear alibi for the time of the crime. Oof.
That? An alibi? Damn it, a fool like you couldn't understand no matter how easy I make it for you. If you want to call yourself the head inquisitor, try and figure out at least that much for yourself. Until then, I'll be taking that maid's arrest warrant.
Then what about you? Can you prove that this maid didn't commit the crime? Know that she was clearly away from the kitchen at the time of the crime. What was she doing then, and where? She can't prove it, I can't prove it, and you can't prove it. No one can! That's why we have no choice but to use these torture devices to interrogate her until the red truth is squeezed out.
You can squeeze out as much blood and truth from the true culprit as you damn well please. However, I won't let you interrogate or torture anyone who isn't that culprit.
This is why everything's too solved. All the suspicious must be interrogated. That's how we Inquisitors of Heresy conduct our witch trials.
That's right. We are Inquisitors of Heresy. Felling evil witches is our job. However, we mustn't risk hurting the innocent. We mustn't put them under suspicion. All humans have their own personal truths. Those should only be exposed when they commit crimes. We've been given the right to expose them. But there's one thing we can't do.
What?
No one, not even God, has the right to expose the innocent truths of those who have not sinned.
The maid finally realized that he was trying to protect her.
I don't know who you are, but... Thank you. Very much. I'm really not the culprit.
Yeah, I know. Your boyfriend said he'd be willing to give up everything to prove your alibi. You should thank him. The kid said that honor and reputation are worth nothing compared to you.
But if he does that, he'll...
It won't come to that. Exposing secrets between lovers is a job for third-rate magazines. That's not mystery. I'll never allow for that heartless reasoning.
Then, for the first time, the man's sullen expression relaxed, and he patted the maid's head roughly.
I'm sure you two will be happy together. Still, meeting together in secret while on the job is hardly praiseworthy. Try to keep that to a minimum.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
These words were heard only by the two of them. The man had learned of her innocence, which could only be proven by exposing the secret of a pair of young lovers, and he had rushed about in search of a solution, resentful of the arrogance of those trying to expose this by forcible means.
The point of theory making is not to create a culprit, or to trample the truths that lie in the hearts of those who have not sinned. If you want to play the detective, don't neglect the heart. Otherwise, we're just intellectual rapists. Don't forget.
I like this guy.
When the man spoke, the Inquisitors no longer had any way to argue back. The man's name is Will. Yet that's not what everyone used to call him. Head Inquisitor of Heresy of the SSVD, the 8th District Repentance, and Enforcement Agency of the Great Court of Heaven. Wizard Hunting Raito.
This is the last thing I have to pass on to you guys. If you want to be the next wizard hunting right, remember it. No matter what.
Yeah, that's my husband right there.
Are we sure his name is Wizard and not Phoenix?
Boo.
No, sit in the corner.
Yeah, that's a boo right there.
Just let it play.
Yep. And that is the last new theme that we're going to be seeing before the end of the game.
Man, that guy has a cool coat and a cool scowl.
Quietly, the rain fell down. The rain of sadness dripped down the outer walls of the chapel, quietly washing away the dust of the world of the living. The chapel doors were open. During a wedding, only those with invitations are allowed inside. However, during a funeral, the doors are open to all who remember the deceased. So, this must be a funeral. A shadow holding an umbrella approached the chapel. It was Will. A reception desk had been set up at the chapel's entrance. As the shadow approached, Cannon, who had been sitting at this desk, stood up and welcomed him with a bow.
This is the reception desk.
Des.
We are collecting the names of all mourners. If you would sign here.
Sorry. But I'm not a mourner. I'm here to meet with someone.
This is Cannon's
You came
internal monologue. Sorry.
You came to a funeral to meet someone.
A dubious expression rose to Cannon's face. Will pulled an envelope from his pocket and showed him the sender's name.
My apologies. Please, enter.
Thanks. Could I at least have one of those?
Thank you very much. I am sure she will be pleased.
Cannon handed him one of a set of golden roses, which were being handed out to all the mourners. Will took it, suddenly bowed his head, and entered the chapel. Inside the chapel, several people who appeared to be the family of the deceased were gathered, and they all seemed to be recalling memories of the departed. Whoa! Beatrice! Why? Why? Oh!
Way to say that whenever my mom was right on the phone, damn it!
Nice.
Where are headphones?
Your mom on the phone in your room.
Sorry, Con's mom.
Oh my god.
Man, I can't believe I just saw Khan.
Khan, you will have to take up, Rindy's roles in her absence.
Oh wow, it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Father, please, take care. Why don't you rest in the waiting room for a bit? I killed her. I did it.
Noir.
Absurd. How could that be, Rosa-sama?
Father's really balling.
Sorry, I forgot it was you.
Yeah, Beatrice, huh?
Your father's fucking ballin'.
I'm sure he didn't cry this much when Mother passed away.
Hey! Now's not the time to say things like that.
Some sobbed, unable to conceal their tears, and some spoke softly of old memories. They're all remembering the dead in their own way, it seemed. When Will approached the altar, several people turned around. Of course, none of them knew who Will was. Paying this no mind, Will walked in front of the casket on the altar, to be buried under golden roses. Inside the casket, there was no corpse. Instead, as though it lay there in place of a body, was a single thick book with an extravagant binding. The space all around it was filled with countless golden roses. There were words printed on the book's cover. To my beloved Beatrice, October 5th, 1986.
Miss Beatrice. If it was Mrs. If it was Mrs., then forgive me. I've never met you. However, allow me to express my condolences.
He took the rose he had received from the reception area and placed it on the casket. He had absolutely no connection to the woman called Beatrice. However, since he had come to visit a funeral, he had to show this minimum amount of respect for the dead.
I want a WD-40 your chair.
Shh. As part of this, Will prayed for the passage of the dead into the next world.
Pardon me, but who might you be? I am Ushirmir Kraus. I'm serving as the chief mourner. This is my child, Leon.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Ushirmia Leon.
Leon? Who the heck are you?
It's written as Japanese, but pronounced Leon. I guess it's a bit strange for a Japanese name.
Will stared at Leon's face, wearing a confused expression. He hadn't seemed particularly interested in Kraus, but Leon had apparently drawn some of a sort of reaction from him. Rather than interest, it was more as though he felt like something was out of place.
Kraus-sama. Madam says it's about time.
I see. Ladies and gentlemen, if we're too noisy in here, it may disturb the dead. I'm told that the waiting room has been readied. Shall we move over there?
When Kraus called out to everyone, they began to move towards the chapel waiting room.
My apologies. Leon, could you entertain our guest for now? I will guide the others to the waiting room.
Yes, Father.
It looked like a natural conversation with no awkwardness for either father or child.
Father and child, is it?
Yes, but why do you ask?
Ushirimiya Kraus's child is supposed to be Jessica.
Jessica is my little sister. Do you need me to call for her?
No, that won't be necessary. Wait, is this me?
Apparently, some sort of game was already being played right off the bat. Scratching at his head with an irritated look on his face, Will glanced around.
Pardon me, but what sort of relation did you have with the deceased?
Not at all. It's a real pain.
Then why did you come to this funeral?
Since Leon was a fairly mild person, Will's behavior was met with nothing more than a blank expression. A normal person would probably have put on a dubious look long before this. Will scratched his head and yelled angrily at someone other than Leon.
I'm here. Isn't it about time you showed your face?
Members of the Ushirimiya family had already followed Kraus's instructions and moved towards the waiting room. By now, no one could be seen in this cold, vast chapel decorated with golden roses except for Will and Leon.
So you've come.
That was not you. That was Colin.
Burn.
So you've come. Wizard hunting right. Inquisitor of heresy.
The girl's voice came suddenly from behind the pair. When Leon turned around in surprise, the girl had appeared out of nowhere and drifted down on top of the altar. She landed softly on the sacred funeral altar as though this was perfectly normal, crushing the golden roses under her shoes. Of course, Leon didn't know this girl. Just why on earth were all these people unrelated to the funeral, popping up one after another?
I'm already retired. If you have a job you need doing, go ask the new right.
No. You're the one I want to ask. I'm giving this case to you. Did you read the tale I sent you?
I skimmed it.
I don't know who you are, but please get down from there. That's a sacred altar.
Snapping out of a daze, Leon told the girl to get down off the altar, but she ignored this completely. On top of that, Will kept on talking to the girl as though Leon wasn't even there.
I hear this is Leon. Who is that exactly?
You've already heard who.
Ushirimiya Leon. There's no case of the person with that name appearing in any of the previous games.
Is this your piece?
No. It's a true and proper piece of this game board. A character appearing in the story.
You're the game master. That means it's your piece.
I've just moved from Beato's cat box into a larger cat box. Leon is one of the pieces who has a possibility of appearing inside it.
Ah, I see. In other words, it's your piece.
It's a piece I've placed, would be the correct way to say it.
So you're saying this piece isn't your subordinate, like Erica?
Erica? Who's that?
Erica-san.
Don't try to understand it. You'll just get a headache.
Leon didn't have a clue what they were talking about. However, though neither person was familiar, it seemed clear that they both knew a lot about the Ushirimiya family.
I don't know what you two are talking about. Anyways, you, girl. Please get down off the altar. I asked this as a successor to the Ushirimiya family headship.
Even Leon was finally forced to speak in a raised voice to that girl, who continued to chat while casually standing on the altar. However, the girl ignored this completely. On the other hand, Will did show a reaction.
The successor is supposed to be Kraus.
My father, Cross, will be acting as head until I turn 20. Then I'm to succeed the headship.
First I've heard of this. Can you prove it?
Even Leon was starting to get ticked off by now. That calm expression appeared to twitch slightly.
This is the successor's silver ring of the one-winged eagle. Is that proof enough for you?
A silver ring? The golden head ring has appeared several times. I never heard anything about a silver ring for the successor. I don't remember Kraus or Jessica ever wearing one of those.
I'm glad.
You there?
What's she glad for?
Sister is in the room. One moment. Man, I want to play with Leon's hair tassels. They look fun
Please
to
don't
bat.
touch my hair tassels.
Their hair tassels.
Oh, they look so that they're taunting me. I desire to bat them like a cat with a ball on a string.
Can we talk about Willard's white V-cut shirt?
You know what? Talk about them.
Can we talk about the single
Talk
red
about his
strand of
cleavage.
hair?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
Talk-
dyed hair.
Yeah, let's talk about his cleavage, AC.
Back.
I was just talking about...
Wait, what?
Continue.
AC wanted to
Continue.
talk about his cleavage.
I was talking about the shirt, you pervert.
Moving
Carry
on.
on, Con.
For someone who's just skimmed it, it seems you've read it pretty well.
When a witch hands you a story, you'll never know when something absurd will pop up. Especially when it's a great witch from the Senate.
Who in the world are you two? Sorry, but I don't have a clue what you're talking about. If you finish offering flowers for the departed, please make your exit. It seems you two aren't worthy of our family's hospitality.
Leon finally ran out of patience. These two were the strictest words that this gentle kid could unleash. However, Will and the girls seemed to not care at all.
I didn't come here because I wanted to.
We're wasting time, so let's move onwards. Right. Try and beat this game. As the Game Master, Berncastel, I invite you to join in.
I refuse.
Why?
I'm retired now. Reasoning and mysteries aren't my business anymore.
How do you intend to spend the rest of your life? Is wizard hunting right going to give up witch hunting?
There's still fox hunting and clam hunting to look forward to. I didn't come here to discuss the rest of my life with you.
So, you came here to refuse?
Know that your powers of deduction are truly a sight to behold.
Then do as you will. Go wherever you please. That is assuming that you can leave this place.
So, what are the terms and payment?
In truth, Willett had resigned himself from the beginning. He knew that he was incapable of refusing an invitation from the great Lady Berncastel.
Who killed Beatrice? That's my game. In payment, I'll forgive you for your insolence and let you leave this chapel.
I hear that boredom-hating witches love being spoken to rudely.
That's only for hags who've tired of life after 1,000 years. I'm still plenty young. So I love thinking up horrible fates in which to trap prude men like you.
So, who's my enemy?
There is none. There's no one to stand in your way. I just want to sit back and watch you like your beautiful checkmate in this game. I've even found you an ally. That's what this lion is for.
Leon.
Leon, sorry.
After hearing that name spoken out of the blue, Leon frowned once more. Apparently they were moving things along without Leon's knowledge or understanding, which the latter seemed to find truly irritating.
Leon is a member of the Ushirimiya family, and should prove to be a useful ally, seeing as no one in the family knows you.
I'm not sure what this is all about, but I can hardly be of assistance until I know what's going on here.
There, see? With help like this, it'll be a piece of cake.
Entertain me, and my master, wizard hunting right. I'll may be a polite theater goer, but I might throw popcorn at you if I get bored, okay?
Will scratched at his head with a displeased look on his face. He wasn't at all interested in getting involved, but by now he realized that he couldn't disobey Berncastel's orders. Then he approached the casket. and pointed at its rose-filled insides.
You asked me to solve the case of Beatrice's murder, but Van Dyne's 20 rules, Rule 7. It is forbidden to have a crime without a corpse.
That's a devil's proof. Maybe it just isn't inside the casket. Unless you can prove that no corpse exists, this is a mystery.
Rule 1. It is forbidden to have a crime without all the clues presented.
Don't worry. Everything is gathered here.
Though there were no changes to Will's unsatisfied expression, he seemed to have understood the general pattern of this place. The fact that a mere inquisitor of heresy has been summoned by an uninhibited, fickle, cruel great witch of the Senate meant that he be treated as no more than a mere underling. All along he had possessed no way to refuse her.
So, who killed the owner of this empty coffin? I'll answer that question. However, you'll let me do things my way.
As you like.
First off, I need to make you understand the current situation.
Yes, that would be extremely helpful at the moment.
Leon's expression seemed nonplussed, angry, and confused, all at the same time.
Over here. It'll be faster to see it for yourself.
Wonderful. Please lead the way.
Will signaled with his chin for Leon to follow him and spun around. After snorting once in an unsatisfied manner, Leon followed him as though resigned to see Will's little show. As she watched them leave the chapel, Castle sneered silently at them, a cold smile on her face.
As the Miko of the Great Witch of theater-going, drama, and spectating, feather in something a la Aurora. And as the Witch of Miracles, I, Burn Castell, announce the start of this game. This tale's title is Requiem of the Golden Witch. Spin a tale fitting for Beato's funeral. Well now, let's see just how you drag out the guts.
She watched until the pair had left the chapel. Berncastle's form evaporated into the empty air just as she had arrived. All that remained was her unpleasant cackling. Outside, it was still raining. When Ken saw the guests and the successor approaching the reception desk, he bowed deeply.
Good work. You can take a break now. So, would you mind leaving?
It's canon.
Yoshi.
Yes, as you wish.
Canon bowed deeply, then disappeared.
Don't you remember the names of all your servants?
Our family has many young servants coming in and out, and they're usually replaced quite frequently. Well now. What are you trying to explain to me? Who are you, and what business do you have with this family? Of course, there's no need to convince me. Feel free to head on home if you want.
There is no going home. Not for me. Not for anyone.
Could you please give that a rest? Stop speaking in confusing riddles like that all the time. Even I have limits to my patience. If you don't want me to see you off, should I call Genji or Goda?
Don't freak out. Look at this.
Yes, I can see that. It's one of the memorial roses. Are you going to show me some kind of magic trick?
Will took one of the flower offerings, then showed it to Leon as though pointing out there was no mechanisms or tricks. Then, he slowly lifted it upwards.
Watch.
Yes, I'm watching. Is a dove going to fly out of it? Or is it going to be flags and fireworks? Huh?
Will threw the rose. Anyone would have expected to fly in an arc and land in some puddle. It didn't, which is why Leon had been struck dumb. The rose thrown by Will certainly had flown in an arc. It should have spattered rapidly through the air. However, as soon as it passed out from the shade of the eaves and was about to deliver it to the rain, it stopped right in midair, so the air surrounding it had turned into syrup. That wasn't all. As it hung in midair, the rose's beautiful golden petals began to darken one after another, and it became a black husk like a burnt charcoal. And even after this happened, it remained suspended there in the air.
What sort of trick is this?
Don't move.
Leon had moved closer to try and touch the remains of this rose, which still hung in the air. Will had roughly blocked the way with his arm. It was as though he was telling Leon that leaving this place meant certain death.
This chapel has been cut off from the fragment. I'm currently locked in a concentrated loop of time.
What? What do you mean by that?
Explaining's a pain, so I'll just give you a short version. Basically, unless we play along with that witch's game, no one can leave this place.
What? The funeral's already over. I'm sure some people will want to return to the mansion or the guest house. We can't be locked up in here.
If you got a bone to pick, that witch is the one you're looking for. Being stuck in a place like this isn't any more pleasant for me.
That girl's your friend, right? Make her stop all this weirdness.
She's probably sitting in a spectator seat with a bucket of popcorn about now. She won't come if we just call her.
What on earth is going on?
That short sentence described all of Leon's feelings at that moment. However, Leon had seen the rose will through wither in an instant, in the rainy darkness. They tried doing the same thing with another rose, but the effect was exactly the same. No one would want to use their own body to test this fearsome something that can make roses crumble instantly.
There's only one way for us to be released from here. We have to play along with Burn Castle's game.
You mean the one about who killed Beatrice?
That's why she's telling us to investigate. If you could fill me in, this will go more quickly. That fickle witch will be completely satisfied. You'll be able to get rid of the two of us, and I have a date with Diana when I get back. If I keep her waiting too long, she'll start tearing up the sofa again.
Who killed Beatrice, you say? That's hardly something you should go barging into a funeral and asking the family about.
Questioning the family is one of the basics of the mystery genre. Just give up and accept it. I do know that this Beatrice is the mistress of Kinzo, the family head.
You really are a strange person. How do you know so much about this family? Are you sure you have a connection with us?
You're hanging in there?
Will knew this much about the Ashurmia family, because Burncastle had shown him all the fragments so far. Of course, he had no sort of connection with the Ashurmia family himself. The very plane of existence was on his existence was on a different level.
However, Beatrice died a long, long time ago. According to Genji, she passed away before the mansion was complete. But the reason for her death is unclear. To be honest, this is the first I've heard about her being killed. Tell me about it.
My name is Ushurmia Leon.
Willard. Call me Will.
For the first time, Will introduced himself. The mutual introduction was finally complete, and Leon was finally able to talk with him on an even footing. However, Leon took a deep breath and looked up at the sky, wearing a vague smile.
Wilson.
Call me Will. I'll call you Leon.
Will. To be honest, even I don't know much about Beatrice.
Your wireless is just shitting the bed right now.
You hanging in right now?
Damn. Ah, fuck. Hold on. Hello? Is
I
this
mean, you
better?
sounded good after
Worse?
you roboted. You sound fine.
Well, fuck. Is it okay?
Should be
You
okay
sound
now.
great,
Alright, go ahead.
but you always
Right.
sound great.
Shut up. Well, to be honest, I don't know much about this person called Beatrice.
I see. I guess it's called a game for a reason.
If only Leon could have told him everything, revealing the truth without any effort from Will. But things wouldn't be so easy after all.
Everyone who enters the Ushimiya family knows the name and the image of Beatrice.
That's because of the massive portrait hanging in the entrance hall, isn't it? That portrait was first displayed in April of 1984.
Seriously, how is it that you know so much? Well... It's about time I stopped finding that odd. I'm sure you'll just start speaking in riddles again.
Leon was a successor and lived in the head household. That made conversation with Kinzo an everyday occurrence. Because of this, Leon must have used to chatting with people who were moody or hard to follow. With the understanding that getting stuck on the details would be nothing but a waste of time, the conversation naturally fell into a pattern as though Leon and this unknown man, Will, were longtime friends.
Everyone knows Beatrice. And yet no one knows her. Kinzo's the only one who's ever met her.
The head seems to be particularly cranky today. I'll introduce you to him when the chance presents itself, so as to develop an appropriate, discreet attitude, Wilson.
That was quick. I thought he'd resist a bit more than that.
I'm used to speaking with the family head. I've learned to accept most unreasonable situations and just go with the flow.
Burncastle set up a barrier cutting the chapel off from the rest of the world. It was sure that they would have to find out who killed Beatrice. For Leon, who had already experienced many of Kinzo's rantings, understanding this was more than enough.
Man, that part where Leon just was getting snubbed between the conversation between Byrne and Will is hilarious. Just completely ignored.
Yes.
The Ashimi family members were relaxing here and there around the waiting room. A light buffet-style meal had been set up, but it was a bit stale and not particularly appealing. Even so, those voracious kids seemed to find it intensely interesting. The cousins set up a camp around it with Maria at the center. The adult siblings also formed a group in a different corner. Perhaps because of Kinzo's absence, everyone seemed to be a little more relaxed.
Leon, where did you go? And who is that?
Mother. I was entertaining this guest of ours. Well, this is my mother, Natsu.
No introductions needed. Just tell me what you have to say.
Huh. Did you say something?
No, he said nothing. This is Wilson. It seems he knew the deceased.
With a smile, Leon casually smoothed over Will's words.
He wants to know more about Beatrice. Do you know anything about her, Mother?
Leon, the departed is an individual to whom the head owed a great debt. Nothing more, nothing less. This funeral is a ceremony for the head to repay his benefactor for all he received while that person still lived. That is what I have been told, and there is nothing more to it than that.
Thanks, Mother. Well, that's all my mother knows.
Natsui was eager to deny the scandal about Beatrice being Kinzo's mistress. However, she also had enough sense to realize that the scandal was probably true. Picking up that Natsui was in a bad mood and didn't want to talk about this anymore. Leon brought an end to that conversation before Will could say something rude again.
Will, this chapel belongs to the family.
So you're telling me to follow the family's rules?
Speaking in a manner appropriate for a guest of the family. Let me be the medium for all your conversations. I ask that you follow those 2 rules.
I'll work on that.
The mess with this Birkenstell witch or whatever has dragged us into a real pain. Because of that, I'm willing to help you. But we're equal partners in this job, and you best not forget that.
Hey, I thought you were just some well-bred rich kid. Seems like you can speak up after all.
I must be prepared to shoulder the Yoshimiya family's future, after all.
Got it. Let's solve this crime together, Watson.
I'm glad I can help. I wouldn't want to keep your dear cat Diana waiting. Won't she need to be fed soon?
I gave her extra food today, so she should be good for a while. I'm surprised you realized Diana was a cat.
I figured it'd be a bit too eccentric for her to be a human woman who scratches at sofas while you kept her waiting. So? Who will you talk to first?
Anyone. Everyone. Those are the ones over are Krause's siblings, correct?
From right to left, there's Aunt Ava and Uncle Hideyoshi. Over there is Uncle Rudolph, Aunt Kyrie, and over there is...
Ushira Rosa. When she was a girl, she once got lost in a forest and bumped into a woman calling herself Beatrice in a hidden mansion.
I know I shouldn't be surprised anymore. But you really do know everything, don't you?
So you know about that story too?
I managed to overhear her saying that today. It looked as though it was bothering her, so I pretended not to hear.
Real model student you are. Introduce me. I want to ask about it.
You're asking this of the model student who pretended not to hear it because it might be a painful topic?
Even this outrageous arrogance is nothing compared to Kinzo. After muttering this several times mentally, Leon shrugged and nodded it well.
Oh, it's our successor, Sama. And who is this?
Aunt Ava. This is Will-san. He came to offer flowers for the departed.
But who cares about that? Tell me everything you know about. Yeah.
He says he wants to know what sort of relationship the Ushimiya family has with the deceased.
Leon spoke with a bright smile after pinching Will's butt. Will silently protested as though saying,
I saw that coming, but damn, that hurt.
But Leon just played dumb and smiled at Ava like a model student.
Her connection to the Ushimiya family? Well...
It probably makes more sense to hear her... Wait, okay, let me restart. It probably makes more sense to say her relationship with Father.
No need to beat around the bush. She was Father's mistress.
If you can call her that. Natsu-san will yell at you again. He's indebted to her, right?
Yep, that's right.
Well, there you have it.
I have no interest in anyone but Rosa.
I do believe that you said you'd meet with that you met with Beatrice, Aunt Rosa.
This whole time, Rosa has been hanging her head. Leon's words made her shoulders quiver.
She just suddenly came out with it today. It's a bit hard to believe. It's the truth. Ugh. I killed Beatrice.
Perfect. Our work here is finished.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Rosa broke down crying and laid her head on the table. Kiria and Hideyoshi tried to console her.
Rokkenjima is covered by a dense forest. We only know about one tiny portion of it. Just the mansion, the rose garden, and the little path that leads to the harbor.
For years, there's been stories about how Dad built a hidden mansion somewhere in the vast forest that no one knew about. And that he had a mistress living there.
Oh god, give me a second, let me take a...
The buffet must have been really tempting, I know, but I need to ask some questions.
Alright, Rosa-san probably...
Oh, whoops, shit.
Speed running again, I see.
I thought he fucking had his line, shit!
No, I was eating.
Go.
Rosa-san probably stumbled on the hidden mansion by chance.
But Aunt Rosa, why would you say you killed Beatrice?
I hadn't taken her out with me, she never would have died. She was so innocent, like a chick. I took her out and she just followed along obediently. She stayed right behind me, trusting me completely. And because I made her take such a dangerous path,
Did you make her walk that way because you were hoping she'd slip and fall from the cliff?
Jesus.
I never meant to do that. I just thought she'd like to see the ocean. No. It just looked like the path would be hard to walk, and I thought it would be easier going if we went down the cliff first.
That's not what it means to kill someone. It was an accident.
An accident she never would have had if I hadn't brought her with me, right? It's my fault. And then I abandoned her when I saw she was covered in blood and ran home.
It isn't your fault. Beatrice had never seen the ocean before. You showed her that for the first time ever. She was probably so excited that she just happened to take a bad step.
How can you know that?
Beatrice might thank you for what you did, but she'd never hate you.
Really? Is that really true?
She's the one who begged to see the world outside the fence, right? Though it was only for a short while, you made that dream of hers come true. If I were Beatrice, I'd thank you for that short bit of time. If she knew that you would have been suffering all this time for it, she'd probably feel sorry for you. Beatrice is grateful for what you did. You're the one who taught her that the sea is blue.
Is that true?
I guarantee it.
Will made that statement open and boldly. It wasn't clear how Rosa took those words. However, it apparently been enough to remind Rosa to take a handkerchief out of her pocket and wipe her eyes with it.
Thank you.
Those are the words Beatrice is whispering to you even now.
Thank you.
Rosa wiped her eye with the handkerchief one more time and hung her head. It no longer looked like a fit of sobbing, but more as though she was speaking with the Beatrice of that day within her heart. One last time.
Leon? Oh, are we having issues? Come on, if you don't get here, I'm gonna play with your hair tassels.
What's up with you and the hair?
It's fun.
Oh.
Super robot.
You really have no problem making claims you can never back up, don't you?
back up. Is that really necessary to comfort a woman?
It seems I underestimated you. How many years did it torment Rosa? Now, finally, she'd probably be able to face that innocent, smiling Beatrice who had seen the ocean for the first time in her life. She's the one who could forgive Rosa. Now the two of them could finally speak together. Rosa.
Sorry.
I don't know who you are, but thank you. I wonder if she'll forgive me.
You've worried about it for nearly 20 years. That's far too long. Should tell you that you suffered more than enough already.
That's right, Aunt Rosa. The sadder you are, the sadder Beatrice would be.
You too. Thank you. I don't know if I'll be forgiven, but I'll keep on speaking to my heart to see whether she'll forgive me or not. Thanks, you too. Sorry for showing you such an embarrassing side of me.
I'm sorry to say this right after you say something so pretty. But I want you to talk to me. Tell me what happened back then.
Wilson!
Thanks, but it's fine. I'll talk. Hiding this and keeping quiet about it for so long might have been my greatest sin.
Exactly when was it when you met Beatrice?
On hearing this question, Rosa closed her eyes lightly, reaching back to a past she didn't want to remember.
It was about 20 years ago. 20. Or wait, it might have been 19 or 18 years ago. I'm sorry. I've tried to force myself to forget it for so long that I've nearly forgotten that part completely.
Should have been 1967.
Runaway would guarantee that with the red truth in the third game.
That's right. It was probably about 1967. I can remember what happened as clearly as a picture. I'll never forget.
If it's tough for you, don't feel like you have to tell us.
Yes, as clear as a picture if you don't mind. Hey, yeah. Damn it, that hurts, Leon. Gah.
What does?
At the time, I was in a state of shock, since my tutor told Mother about something that was supposed to be a secret. On that day, I became reckless, and I kept on running deeper and deeper into the forest.
This tale has also been told in a previous fragment. Back when Rose was just a kid, she went deep into the forest. Found a hidden mansion in it with the mysterious woman who called herself Beatrice.
But that forest is so thick, even pushing your way through it is a bit hard, right?
I even surprised myself. To think that I made it so far into such a dense forest. I was tormented by twigs and sharp leaves over and over again. However, that wasn't enough to bother me on that day. After all, I wanted to disappear into the forest and vanish forever. If, by some chance, there really was a witch's mansion in the depths of the forest, I hoped that she might take me to some paradise, or else turn me into a frog and make me a resident of the forest.
So, you then reached the hidden mansion, Kuadorian. Met a woman who called herself Beatrice.
Yes. I met her.
Was that Beatrice the same one? Wait, was that Beatrice the same one in the portrait?
Yes. They were the same person. Beautiful blue eyes. Golden hair. A black dress. It truly was the person in that portrait. When Father first had it hung, I realized that the 20 years I'd spent trying to forget must have seemed just as long to Father, if not even longer, and I became even more fearful of my sin.
Stop there. Are we sure this is the same Beatrice that Rosa-san met?
Immediately, Kiryu spoke the question that Will had been thinking of. It'd be too rash to assume that the Beatrice Kinzo met and the one Rosa met were the same person. The time and generation didn't match up.
Beatrice is supposed to be that lady of leisure who lent Dad all that gold shortly after the war, right?
I using Beatrice the gold as a foundation. Father revived the Yoshiro family, Yoshiro family, and got super rich. Then he brought Rokijima and moved over. There was a son meeting her, must have been at least 10 years after that.
A woman could do as she pleased with 10 tons of gold. Sorry, let me try that again. A woman who could do as she pleased with 10 tons of gold could hardly be some little girl. And 10 more years passed before she met Rosa. Rosa. About how old did the Beatrice you met look? She looked older than I was at the time. But even so, it looked as though she might just be reaching adulthood. Yes, just the sort of age of the Beatrice in the portrait.
Did she look middle-aged or past her prime?
If I had to call her an adult or a child, she was clearly closer to being a child. There's no way she was middle-aged. And isn't that strange? We have the Beatrice you met and the Beatrice who gave Father the gold. But their ages don't match.
In other words, they were different people.
Different people who look very similar and have the same name.
It might have been her daughter. A kid would obviously end up looking like her mother.
His mistress's daughter. It is possible. Perhaps father had an illegitimate child, Beatrice, who gave him gold.
And then Rosa bumped into Beatrice II. That way they just fit just fine.
I see. In other words, there are two people who can be called Beatrice.
Kinzo secretly raised his mistress's child in a hidden mansion. It made sense. Everyone nodded, agreeing. However, Will's expression was suddenly unsatisfied, and he scratched at his head.
So it would seem that this funeral exists for the two Beatrices he couldn't mourn because they were kept secret.
Rosa, I know you probably don't want to remember, but tell me about that accident. After Beatrice fell, was she still breathing?
No. Her eyes were open wide. She fell upside down, head first, and knocked her head against a sharp crag on the rocky beach. And she fell from such a height. Her skull split and caved inwards. That beautiful golden hair was stained red with blood almost immediately.
Was it the sort of wound that can clearly show that she was dead?
Yes. I saw the insides of her cracked head. It had caved in deep enough to fit your fist inside it. No one could be naive enough to see that and still hope that she was alive.
Well, do you really need to ask anything more?
That's enough for the time of the accident. What did you do afterwards?
I dashed away at full speed. I can't say I was thinking about calling for help. I wanted to escape from that place as fast as I could. Half crazed, sobbing and out of breath, I kept on running about at random. Eventually, I came across a familiar lion statue. Oh, the one in front of the chapel. No, the one behind it. Anyway, I made it back to the mansion. I couldn't tell anyone, and I didn't want to. I stayed quiet until nightfall. It was so horrible of me. If I had hurried and told someone, they might have brought her a first aid kit, and she might have been saved.
How is a first aid kit going to help with a crushed cranium? You didn't kill her. Don't worry about that anymore.
Oh?
Then what did you do next?
That night I turned over in my bed so many times. I couldn't sleep. Late that night, I quietly called Genji-san on the phone and told him.
What did he say?
He told me to let him handle everything and to speak of this to no one. I spent the next several days terrified that Father would call for me and scold me brutally. But he didn't. Genji-san kept on doing his job quietly, just like normal. Father stayed locked up in his study, not knowing any of it. At the very least, none of us ever heard about it.
Genji-san probably managed to clean everything up nicely.
After all, they couldn't let knowledge of that child go public.
Even if she was an illegitimate child, she was still his daughter by blood. Must have been tough for Father not being able to hold a real funeral for her.
I suppose that's why we're having this funeral.
And then?
That's all I know.
And that's all I know, too.
I'm not hiding anything else. I've told you everything. I swear it.
Will scratched at his head, letting his gaze wander. It's taken Rosa a lot of determination to make this confession, but it was nothing particularly special for Will. It had apparently been little more than a review of information he had already known.
Thanks, Aunt Rosa. Is that enough for you, Will? Are you satisfied?
That's enough. It was nice of you.
To Will, Rosa's memories gave only information that was already known. It was the first time that he'd heard all that about her running back to the mansion after Beatrice fell to her death, but none of it was particularly surprising. Apparently, Rosa didn't know any more than this. If he wanted to learn more than what was in the fragments Burncastle gave him, he had to find a new testimony.
Leon. Tell Kinsa that I want to talk to him. It looks like we won't get anywhere without asking the man himself.
Where are you going?
Off to cool my head and organize my thoughts. Don't follow.
Well then, pardon me. Please take your time.
After giving an elegant bow, Leon made a face, tongue sticking out. Until, unless Will had eyes on the back of his head, he couldn't have seen this last bit. Will returned to the chapel by himself. The cold air at the momentous sound of the rain was comforting.
So, how's the game going?
And he had come here for a little peace and quiet. As he let out a sigh of relief, that voice rang out.
That's my line.
It was as though she had been sitting there all along. Berncastle appeared on top of the altar once more. Beatrice's altar must have been extremely comfortable.
Battler annoyed me over and over with his incompetence. You're quite competent compared to him, so it's much more relaxing to watch you work.
Unlike Jeremy at Battler's games, I have nothing standing in my way. It's easy.
That sort of game is already ended. Tales can be enjoyed twice. First you love them. Then you tear out their guts.
So I'm a butcher now.
So? Do you think you figured out who killed Beatrice?
Rosa's confession is something I already know from a previous fragment. There was no brand new information. We're still at square one. Unless Ishiramiya Kinza tells us what really happened, we won't get any further than this. Don't tell me that arguing with Kinzo and persuading him to spill the beans is supposed to be a part of this game.
That'd be fatally boring. Kinzo refused to speak of the truth and is himself the king protected by his castle. But it wouldn't be any fun to have that stand in the way of your game.
I won't torture. It's not my style.
I know. As the game master, I will grant you power. So that you can get the truth from Kinzo, of course.
Still wearing shoes, Berncastle stepped into the casket, picked up one of the flowers that had been set as offerings, and blew hard as though scattering fluff from a dandelion. Then a single petal broke off and drifted down toward Will. No longer gold, but with the same shine of a transparent crystal.
The detective's authority?
What? That pathetic ability? No. This is an invitation to the grandstands.
Theater-going authority? That's supposed to be forbidden without authorization from the Senate.
I'm the one giving it. On my game board. Who's going to stop me?
The crystal flower petal danced in the wind. It wouldn't fly away until Will accepted it. He remembered how useless it was to argue with witches and snatched it up. When he did, the petal vanished brightly for an instant, melted into Will's palm, and then disappeared.
Entertain me if you can. And try and enjoy yourself. You must also be interested in seeing what the guts of Beatrice's game board look like, right?
Not really.
After Will's rude answer, Bonecastle vanished into thin air, leaving behind an obnoxious laugh. After clicking his tongue, Will turned around unhappily. I'm going to take a brief moment to turn off hardware acceleration for Discord because it's like eating up... It is eating up an ungodly amount of my GPU right now. Like, it's not good. Just give me a moment. Apologies for this, everyone. It'll be just a brief moment. Don't my goddamn graphics card dying because of goddamn Umineko. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
What does AC have to watch?
How I'm gonna pinch him.
Oh.
Okay, we're back.
AC is about to get conchoed.
You wouldn't dare.
Alright, let me see if this fixes it. Alright,
Man, it is freezing in my basement right now. Well, not freezing, it is quite cold.
Okay, that fixed it a bit. Alright.
Why are you in the basement?
Because right now the floor paint is still drying in the main rooms.
Why, locked in the bathroom?
Well, it's not drying, but it's curing.
Alrighty then, continuing on. When he did, it felt as though his gaze had crossed out of a shadow standing right in front of him, near the door that led outside.
Who is it?
Pardon me. I heard a voice, so I wondered who it was.
Ah, Shannon. So you're running the reception desk this time?
Yes. I've been taking it in turns with Canon-kun to run the reception desk.
And Cannon?
A short while ago, he was ordered by, Leon-sama to take a break, so he's resting now.
So you don't know Leon either?
Huh? No, that's not...
Ushiramiya Leon is the successor, the one who wears his silver ring. Yeah, why were you stumbling over that name when you've worked here for 10 years?
That's...
Don't worry. I don't recognize Leon either. Kraus is supposed to be his successor. Jessica is supposed to be his only child. There hasn't been a single fragment with anyone named Leon in the Ushiramiya family.
When she realized that Will didn't recognize Leon either, Shannon relaxed. And she was a bit relieved to find that she wasn't going crazy by herself. However, her expression quickly grew uncertain once more.
Where is this place? I think it's the Ushiramiya family chapel. However, something feels different about it. Also, I never knew someone named Leon-sama existed. And yet, Madam, Kraus-sama, the Master, Milady, and all the relatives all talk as though it's perfectly natural. I just don't understand what's happening.
Leon is a piece placed by Burn Castell. She also said that, in order to protect that piece, she switched over to a larger cat box. On top of that, it seems this world isn't a proper world, but one made of several different fragments sewn together. It's as though this is a special stage set up specifically for this game. I'm sure she's nodding at my thoughts right now, laughing and chopping down popcorn. How long have you worked here in this world?
10 years.
I see. So it really is a special stage.
Oh.
After all, when I entered the chapel, I spotted Kinzo. Since Shannon has been working here for 10 years, this world takes place in 1986, the stage of Rito's game. In that case, Kinzo shouldn't exist. However, he definitely was here a few minutes ago. Castle promised that all the information needed for reasoning was gathered here. She must have really packed it together to fit everything in. I see, so this really is a special stage. You served the Shiramiya family for many years. So just how much do you know about Beatrice?
I know the master loved her deeply, but other than that...
Is that all?
And, they say she's the master of Rokenjima's knight.
That's right. The name of the ghost rumor that wander the mansion night after night is also Beatrice. That brings the number of Beatrices down to 3. The first is Beatrice from more than 30 years ago, who is said to have given Kinzo the gold. The second is the Beatrice from 20 years ago, who met Rosa. A third is the Beatrice of the ghost stories, who is rumored to be the master of the night on Rokenjima. Furudo Erika's reasoning was probably correct. It started out as the legend of the evil spirits in Rokenjima. Later on, elements such as Kinzo's occult hobbies, the name of the portrait and the name and the portrait of the mysterious woman, Beatrice, and the epitaph got mixed in, and it was all integrated into the legend of the Golden Witch. Then the darkness of the night came the personality of a witch. That's the third Beatrice. This became the veil for the serial murders.
Apparently she didn't understand a word of Will's sudden monologue. Sand tried to follow along, but she seemed to be having difficulty.
Don't waste your time trying to understand. You'll just get a headache.
My apologies.
Cannon doesn't know Leon either, right?
Yes. Cannon-kun was the same as me.
Shannon and Cannon, is it? Call Cannon over here. I want to talk to the pair of you about something.
When Will said these words, Shannon's face went blank and her eyes went wide.
My apologies. We aren't allowed to leave the reception desk unmanned, so I can't leave to go get him.
They'll find a replacement and have them take over the reception desk until you get back. You, me, and Cannon. We, the three people who don't know Leon, need to talk.
We've been told that one person is enough to run the reception desk.
But no one told you there was anything wrong with 2 people manning it, right?
We're low on helpers today, so we were told that having 2 people at the reception desk would be unnecessary.
Who gave you that order? Kinzo? Kraus? Or was it Leon? I'll check with them.
It was the one who orders me.
Khan, go more robotic.
The one who orders me. I cannot disobey orders.
Who is this person? I'll negotiate with them.
You cannot negotiate. It is the one who orders us.
Call Cannon over here. I hate theater going just as much as I hate torture.
Slowly, Will pulled his right hand out of his pocket. When he slowly opened his fist, a small, bright glow emanated from it. The flower petal given him by Berncastle became a glowing, sparkling mark on his hand. He held that hand out towards Shannon, and slowly approached her.
Call Cannon. I want to check something with you too.
I can't not call him. Do you still want me to?
If you don't call him, I'm just going to use my authority.
Oops.
If you insist, I can call him, especially for you. But
There was some kind of incomprehensible tension between the two. Will still stood there, his left hand still in his pocket and his right palm glowing and stretched out toward her. Shannon just stood there, her hands still folded politely in front of him, her posture beautiful. And yet, it felt oddly as though windswept drops of rain were sparkling and crackling in midair.
I will go call Cannon-kun. Are you absolutely certain?
Will's expression remained unchanged the whole time. Shannon's face was still kind and gentle. And yet, the tension was as icy as a frozen lake. Beginners in chess will sometimes move their king to check without noticing it. One might mercilessly capture the king in this situation, but high-level players are supposed to calmly tell their opponents about their mistake. If you take one more step, you'll get captured. This was similar to that.
I see. So after all, I get it. That's enough. You guys can take it in turns to run at the reception desk.
Slowly, Will lowered his hand.
Thank you for understanding.
The glow slowly vanished from Will's palm. That completely incomprehensible tension melted away, like a sugar cube in water. I've been noticing nothing had changed since the beginning. Will's expression and Shannon's expression were the same as they had always been.
Oh, are you leaving?
Footsteps approached them. It was Leon.
Just having casual conversation. I want to ask you something.
What could that be? Did you find what you were looking for?
Yeah.
I'm honored to have been of service.
That's a shame. If you were looking for an umbrella, I could have gotten you one right away.
Did you convince Kinzo?
I told him that a rare guest wanted to greet him. He says he'll meet with you.
Did you tell them I wanted to ask about Beatrice?
Isn't that your job?
Oh, fuck. Whoops. With a slightly mischievous look, Leon looked away. Will scratched his head and shrugged, looking annoyed.
Oh well. I guess I'll get a chance to try this out at least.
Will opened his right hand and showed it to Leon. Just a hand without anything remotely remarkable about it. Leon sat tilted to the side in bafflement at this strange gesture.
Good work. Wait, your name was...
It's Shannon.
That's right, Shannon. Please take over at the reception desk. And make sure you keep warm.
Thank you very much, Leon-sama.
Shannon bowed deeply in response to Leon's kind words. Not even a trace of tension in her manner.
Let's go, Will. You don't want to miss this chance. The head's mood changes quicker than the autumn sky.
Good luck.
Here we go.
Good job, team.
Alright, that was fun.
Alright.
May I ask a question amongst the group? How was my Willard?
Oh, I thought it fit surprisingly well.
Very good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You did a good job,
So I apologize for not writing down red truths within Umi notes. I was too busy voicing Willard.
You were too busy being an irreverent bad boy.
Chris Rock's probably too busy feeling pain to really pay attention to the Oscars currently. But
yeah.
Okay,
so about that.
So apparently a slap was involved. Is this what I'm getting? I just saw people.
So basically, the deal.
I didn't get.
So the hot dish is Chris Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith having her head shaved because she's got like a baldness problem, and Will Smith walked on stage and just slapped the fuck out of him.
What do the five fingers say to that?
He walked back to his seat and then shouted twice angrily for him to shut his fucking mouth. And Chris Rock just kind of like didn't stop smiling and then just said like, wow, that's like the greatest thing to ever happen on television.
Woo! No, I think that would have to go to Nipplegate.
Umineko, episode 7, Slap of the William Smith.
At any rate, I guess we'll elaborate really quickly on why B said me to do it when her room was having issues. That's because I was originally going to do Leon because I knew that AC was taking Will. And hold on, I might as well just show you guys this really fucking quickly.
I thought for certain you were going to take Will.
Well, you see, that's the thing is, I was gonna let AC have Will because personally I wanted to do Leon, but then
and then I pinched the orange and he gave it to me.
Yeah, B attacked and dethroned me against my
And then
will.
B grabbed him by the hair tassels.
Are you sure? it was
Rather
against
aggressively, pretty much any role I had in this episode was stolen from me.
By the way,
may I say my piece? I want to say that
because I want to point out. I want to point out really quickly that hey, look, Ballard just ain't in this conference. He's not here today.
I was gonna ask, are any of the cousins there right now?
George was there. Maria was there.
Jessica is.
George and Jessica are there, but they haven't talked to them yet.
I would like to ask, is it possible for us to see what Leon sounds like?
Yeah, sure, probably.
Because I'm very curious what voice direction they went for Leon.
Wait, can we say the voice, the voice person for Leon?
I have to see. I forgot who actually took
I think it's the same voice person who voiced Saber Fate.
I am
All right, so
watching
real quick.
that slap heard around the world.
We're going to hear the Leon. We're going to hear Leon's voice.
Huh.
That is Saber's voice actor from Faith.
Yeah.
That is definitely fucking Saber.
While we're there, we may as well hear Will as well. I'm very curious.
Oh,
yeah, here.
Put my husband.
Is there a good, long one?
Yeah, that's about the voice I expected.
Bishi man.
Yeah. That was actually what I was really trying to imitate. Also,
Very
fun
good.
fact, I want to tell you how I requested for Willard. Oh man, I really want to voice Willard, and I think I might take Okanogi as well. That was the exchange. I took Willard before Okanogi. I want you all to think about that.
B, did we ever tell you about what AC's profile picture was for a while involving Okanogi?
I don't think so.
So in Higu, whenever we were still going through that, for the longest time, AC had the anime Okanogi as his profile picture, but the face was just really squished in, so it just looked like some random anime man with a tiny face.
And he said it was from Death Note.
Jesus Christ.
Death Note.
I said it was from Death Note.
The man who plays Willard is Hiroki Takahashi, who is also the voice of the Prince of Tennis.
He is also the voice of Kojaku from Dramatical Murder.
So
he's Isuka from Hunter x Hunter.
He's also, I think he is also Cross in the stage play?
Does he normally play irreverent bad boys?
He's also the new Ryu.
Really?
From Street
Wait,
Fighter.
from Streets?
No, from the Street Fighters.
Jenny
They
from the
fight
Block.
the streets.
By the way,
but yeah.
that wasn't a normal slap. It was actual a punch slap.
Wait,
No,
what do you mean, AC? What do you mean, guess who's voicing Hisoka?
He's also Solace Zosuke Elvis.
We're not going to be working. We're not going to be worrying about the slap stuff right now. We're talking about Umineko. Anyways, but yeah.
Anyway, once AC... Actually, no, let me not say this when they can have me on the record. I'll say it after, once we're done filming.
What do you mean?
I don't want to say it on record.
About me?
Yes.
Is it a spoiler?
No.
Anyway.
Alright.
I better not hear shit. I was not distracted once. I may have
No.
fumbled a few lines.
It's not something bad. I just don't want to be caught on record. Anyways.
Anyway, should I give my thoughts on the episode?
Do you really need to I don't know. There's nothing to really discuss. I guess.
I figured we'd be doing
just get out general reactions.
Yeah.
We don't have to discuss anything. How
about that Shannon scene, huh?
I mean, yeah, it's the idea that Shannon and Cannon are the same person is certainly having weight. A part of me wondered, wait, don't they have different hair colors? And I thought,
They
maybe
also have
just a
different
wig.
eye colors.
Do they?
Do they?
I think so. I remember going through some stuff. They're slightly different.
And then I thought, it could just be a wig.
Let me just go ahead and look really quickly at the sprites, and I'll get back to you on that.
I think I've actually got a good answer for that, Bone. Without
I
love,
also-
it cannot be seen.
All right.
I don't know what that has to do with hair color.
So here is a comparison of Shannon's sprite, and here is Canon sprite. They have the same eye color.
Same eye color.
Still have different hair color. But, yeah, wig, probably. And I don't think that you can, like, quick hair dye on the split second, but you can do wigs.
Who is that, I think?
Let's see.
Katsuya Jonichi. Or as you might know him, Joey Wheeler.
Oh.
Hey, you!
I mean, like, I kind of had a
Yugi.
theory of, can we trust the idea that Rosa actually killed Beatrice? But they seem to really be going hard that, yeah, she did it. Well, I mean, quote-unquote killed, mistake, whatever you want to call it.
Total accident.
If you want an even more direct comparison really quickly, apologies. Here is their faces up close in the original art style.
Same eye color back then.
Just black eyes. Just giant pupils.
Yeah.
They can see everything.
They had eye shirt. They had like eye shit going on. They had to get their pupils dilated.
The head shape has nothing to do with it, Roboot. Everyone has like.
Yeah, I was about to say they all have the same head
that's
shape.
Ryukishi art. Everyone's head looks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not every
Tom,
single
do you have any
head,
thoughts?
but it's like he uses the same head type. Like I would argue that what is it like? There's a lot of characters that do share the same head.
Same face, not
Yeah, it's not like the same face. It's just like obviously Canon doesn't have the same head as like fucking Kraus, but like he does have probably a similar head to like George or something.
There are some base body types that are definitely going around here.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just that he always had his eyes narrowed. I thought they were darker than they are.
So really quickly, other than rather than eyes and all that fun business, and Shannon going a little bit nutty. Are there any other distinct thoughts you guys have?
Well, I definitely think they're the same person.
I just want to know, how is my Shannon?
Good. You sound great.
You're great at it.
Fantastic, Con.
Really good.
R.I.P. to Rindy.
I feel bad because I was hoping this is like one of Shannon's, I guess you could say, larger moments. I think it's a really cool particular scene. Kind of unfortunate that Rindy couldn't be here to do it, but they are getting sleep right now. It's good for them.
So I sounded creepy?
What?
You sounded creepy
Yeah,
and a little bit wet.
A little bit what?
Con, you
Well, she's
always do
certainly
great.
wet when she's
There's a
around George.
Joke humor.
What?
Don't worry
Anyway,
about
Con, do you
Don't
have
worry about it.
any thoughts on the episode?
This seems to be playing more and more out like a literal other side mystery, and I am enjoying every second of it. Also, loving that they are referencing. Where was it?
Van Dyne?
Yeah, I'm loving that they're referencing Van Dyne's 20 articles.
Mm-hmm.
Or at
Who's
least
Van Dyne?
Van Dyne is another
yeah.
Willard Huntington Wright is the real name of author S.S. Van Dyne, the creator of the Philo Vance novels, and also the writer of the famed S.S. Van Dyne's 20 Rules to Writing Detective Stories.
We'd also like to point out that the name of the organization that handles the persecution of criminals is called the SSVD, in reference to S.S. Van Dyne.
Yep.
Is Dr. Nanjo there?
We have not. Have we seen him this far? Probably.
Yes, we have seen Dr. Nanjo.
Nanjo doesn't talk much.
Professor Nanjo is there somewhere.
Dr. Nanjo, not Professor.
I know.
I don't remember I don't remember hearing Bone as Nanjo.
He didn't say anything, but he just appeared.
I don't believe he's got any lines. I think he was just consoling Kim.
Oh, that's why then. Okay, so he's just there.
I'm just trying to get a sense of who's there. Is Battler just the only one who's missing?
Battler
I
is
might
the
as
only
well.
person not here.
Yeah, might as well just be direct. Battler is literally the only person who isn't there.
So, I also thought it was interesting that we had this new character that seems to be going in and out of reality even more than Battler, and seems like he is always aware. He seems to have the same amount of awareness that Erica had.
Us.
You could very easily describe him as a Turbo EX Battler.
Con, you said so. I'm gonna just describe it as this guy has in no way shown to be unaware of the metaverse.
Like Battler had like there seemed to be a distinction between Beast Battler and Peace Battler and Meta Battler. This guy seems to have no distinction. It's the same character all the time.
Like, whenever Erica was, like, ranting about how much she simps for Burn Castle, like, Peace Battler was just going, what the fuck? What? Whereas, like, well, like, despite that Erica was on the game board, she was still being aware of the meta reality.
Well, she also is gross, creepy, and crazy.
Mm-hmm. True.
Wait.
Huh?
America noises, but
wait.
I love how like it's like Detective's Authority, Erica, and like Burns like Erica. Who's that?
Who's this?
She was thrown in the bin like the trash that she is.
Thrown into the void to pay for her crimes of being a little shit. So then,
flushed right down the toilet.
So with that being said, we are going to cap things off for the night. It is past midnight.
Cool.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so very much for watching. Read Beaglesaurus.
What? Wow. There's no better time to enjoy than just after midnight.
Oh, no. Literally,
Hi,
just
Rindy.
as we're ending the thing.
Damn.
Rindy,
Do you want to join us, Rindy?
I don't think Rindy's not in the BC at the moment.
She probably hurt.
Oh
my god.
No.
Ooh.
Oh
pain
no.
Without the pain.
Damn.
Alright. On this tragic note, we are going to cap off the stream. Like I said, read Noir's funny story about Tony Hawk. Whatever the fuck it is.
Did you just join?
Good
night,
night,
Rindy.
Good night, everybody. Sorry, Rindy.
You're fine, Rindy. Alright.
Good night.
Bye bye.